Good day. This is Dr. Jana Price-Sharps. Today we're going to talk about what I call mind edits. That sounds kind of weird, huh? But what I mean by that is we go through a certain event and then we make decisions about that event, and those decisions kind of get crystallized in our brain. So let's say you're talking to, let's just use your spouse. And your spouse or significant other makes a comment. And you're already kind of wound up. You haven't cooled down from work maybe, or maybe this is a phone call. And you latch onto that comment. And you interpret the comment as an insult. Okay? Most people do not go back and look over that event and ask themselves, was that really an insult? Or was that something totally different? And that isn't what that person meant at all. First of all, when we're running hot, when we have a lot of adrenaline in our system, we tend to look for the problem, right? Fight or flight, right? It's all about looking for the danger. So when we are running hot and we're talking to somebody and we're already amped up, anything they say can be misconstrued. Or God forbid, they send you a text message, which there is no tone unless they put a tone in there saying, mild tone or happy tone or whatever the hell they put in there. Unless they do that, it's up to you to read that tone. Well, what if you read it wrong? And then what if you hold on to it? I've met people that are holding on to things for years and they will not let go of it. Well, my husband or my wife said this 10 years ago and I will never forgive them. Good Lord, that's a long time to hold on to something. But did they really mean it the way you think they meant it? Or were they having a bad day and said something stupid? Have you ever done that? I sure have. Maybe they were distracted and something came out completely wrong. Who knows? But what I mean by mind edits is sometimes it's worth your time to go back and ask the person, 8 years ago you said this to me, if you're still holding on to something for that long. 8 years ago, you said this to me. What did you mean by that? Now, very likely, and be prepared for this, they're not going to remember saying it because it is much more important to you than it was to them. So don't get mad at them if they don't remember. If they don't remember, then you can say, well, this is the way I took it, and it really upset me or really hurt my feelings or it really made me angry, and give them a chance to talk it through with you. Or maybe you write it out. Writing it out, I don't know why it works. I really can't tell you. I know there's neurological reasons why, but writing it out and then asking yourself towards the end, what if they meant it in a different way? What if they were just giving me some constructive feedback? What if they were having a bad day? What if they actually were concerned about me? Ask yourself those questions. Is there any other way to interpret this? Because a lot of times people do things and they're misinterpreted. Make sure when that's happening, if you can, connect with that person and say, you just said that. What did you mean by that? And give the person a chance to tell you what they meant. Now, if they were being mean, then set the boundary and say, you know what? That isn't okay to say to me. Please don't say that again. Set the boundary so your mind knows that you're going to protect it. But if they didn't mean it that way, it gives you the opportunity to talk it through, because that person may be completely oblivious to how you took that in. Or they may have meant it somehow as a compliment. Or I'm concerned about you. Or they may have been joking. If you can, ask about it right away. But if it's long gone, or it's not the moment where you can ask them, make sure you circle back around and ask them if it's appropriate. But don't hang on to stuff for long periods of time. Go in and edit it in your brain. So what would that look like? So let's say your spouse says something, it hurts your feelings, you talk to them, or you don't talk to them, you write it out, and you get to thinking about, this wasn't really that big a deal. I don't know why I'm still holding on to that. I can let this go. Then when you do that, your brain is going to reformat that old memory. So it's not so intense. So it's not something that you're hanging on to with dear life. Or you can have a conversation with that person even though they're not there. Let's say you got divorced from that person 5 years ago, so it's not really possible to have that conversation. Then maybe you have that conversation driving around in your truck or your car, and you have the conversation that you want to have with them even though they're not there, so that you can kind of let go of that. You kind of get your say. You tell them what you think, even though they're not there, but you get it out of your system. It's almost like detoxing. Sometimes we just have to get stuff out so that we can let it go. Because then your mind can go, oh, okay, that's no longer a problem. And it edits that old brain trace to, this is no longer dangerous. This is no longer a problem. I'm no longer holding on to this. It is amazing how many things that people choose to carry that they have the option of letting go of, but they don't know that they have the option of letting go. But when you begin to let go, your brain will rewrite those old brain traces, and the incredible burden of some of those old events will begin to slip away. You have to know what the brain needs. You have to know what it wants and how to help it heal. But I guarantee you, holding on to toxic things is not going to help you feel better. Now, this is true of old calls. I have many, many folks that I have treated that they are still going over and over old calls. If only I had done this. If only I had done that. If only I was there 3 minutes earlier. And they're torturing themselves. The reality is you can't go back. You can't fix anything. The only thing that you can do is you can tell your brain, if, God forbid, this kind of call ever happens again, this is what I'm going to do. Or this is how I'm going to handle it. That's all you can do. Give yourself permission to let it go and to let those old brain traces be changed so that you're not going down those old rabbit holes of woulda, shoulda, coulda. You're going, you know what? That was a sad call. I wish it hadn't happened. But you know what? That person has gone on ahead of me. Or I pray that that person's doing okay. Or I hope that person is doing okay, however you want to view it. But push it into the future if you ever have a call like that again. Or allow that person to go on ahead of you. But figure out a way to make peace with it so that your brain can heal. Because you deserve to have a good life. You deserve to be happy. You're relevant. You get to take care of yourself. I hope you have a wonderful day. This is Dr. Jana Price-Sharps from Mind Pilot.